So you are thinking about moving to the Dallas-Fort Worth area, but you're not quite sure what city or what suburb is right for you. Well, in this video, I'm going to take you on a map tour of Prosper, Texas, which is very, very close to Frisco, Texas. If this is your first time to our channel, make sure to like, subscribe, tap the bell for notifications so you can be the first to know everything there is to know about living in the Dallas-Fort Worth or the North Texas area. I'm Jennifer Fowler, and along with my husband, Brandon, we run Fowler Realty Team here in North Texas. And we have people just like you reaching out to us all the time, looking to make a move to the North Texas area, and we absolutely love it. So if that's you and you're looking to make a move, whether it's 9 days or 9 months, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. All that information is in the description below. Okay, so I said I was going to take you on a map tour of Prosper, Texas, so let's get to it right now. Okay, so I have shared my screen with you, the Google Maps screen, so that you can see where Prosper is located on the map. But I'm going to zoom out quite a bit so you can see where it's located in all of Texas. So I'm going to really zoom out so you can just see where Texas is. I'm sure everyone knows about Texas, big state. But anyway, here is Texas, and here is North Texas, or what we call the DFW area, DFW Metroplex, meaning Dallas-Fort Worth. So you can see where all of that is. So now that you've gotten a good bird's eye view of where Prosper is just in general in Texas, let's zoom in a little bit more so we can see where Prosper is in relation to Dallas and Fort Worth. So Prosper is right here. Dallas is where this star is, and then you have Fort Worth. Okay, so let's see where Prosper is in relation to Dallas on the map. So as you can see, Dallas is about an hour and 10-minute drive currently. Obviously, this little spot right here is showing that there is some traffic. At the time of this video, it is about 3:45, so we're just about to enter into rush hour traffic. So, there's probably a wreck or something that happened here, but it really depends, where in Dallas you are headed. This is obviously the heart of Dallas. So if you are living in Prosper or wanting to live somewhere near the Prosper, Celina, Frisco area, but you're commuting into Dallas, well, then your drive is going to be different depending on where you're commuting to. But I wanted you to just see that Dallas is a good solid hour on a good day from Prosper. So if an hour commute to you is fine, then go for it. But, it all just depends on also if you're commuting every day, if you're hybrid, you work from home and work, if you're a nurse and you're not working every day, firefighter, police, whatever that is. Just wanted you to see that. Okay, so let's get rid of Dallas, Texas on the map. We don't need to see that anymore. Now I've taken you back to just the city of Prosper, Texas, so we can take a look at that. Currently, the population in Prosper, Texas is around 42,000, almost 43,000 in population. It has been growing by leaps and bounds for quite some time now. Right across 380, which this is 380 right here. This is the main road that goes through Prosper, or right next to Prosper is 380. And then right across from 380, you're going to have the town of Frisco. Frisco is definitely growing. It has almost its own city rather than a suburb of Dallas. I feel like places like Celina and Prosper are really suburbs of Frisco. And Prosper is almost like it's an answer to, something other than Frisco, because it's just gotten so big. You have the PGA Tour there is now. PGA Resort is there now. Universal Studios is coming soon. So home prices are definitely rising in Frisco, and it's just becoming more and more populated. So a lot of people are choosing to literally go across the street right here on 380 and live in Prosper, another place that's becoming really popular. Okay, so here's Celina, and I'll do a video on Celina itself, but man, you can see that the boundary lines of Celina are all over the place, but not Prosper. Prosper was pretty easy. So, okay, let's get rid of that and go back to Prosper, Texas. Okay, here we go. So like I said, Prosper is really growing. It's been growing at a rate of about 10.6% annually, and that is a lot. The median home price for Prosper is around $825,000. So it is a pretty high median home price. So that's definitely something to take into consideration. It does have the old downtown area, but a lot of Prosper is newer. So there's going to be a lot of new construction in Prosper. So if that's something that you're you're interested in or that you're really leaning towards and you really like this area of North Texas and that is in your budget, then I highly recommend Prosper. There are a lot of great subdivisions and neighborhoods in Prosper, Texas. We just did a tour of Windsong Ranch, which has the 5 Acre Lagoon. So make sure you go back and look for that video. And then a couple of model home tours there as well. But there are a lot of great communities in Prosper, Texas. The schools are highly, highly rated. You can check out the school ratings on niche.com or greatschools.org. There's also quite a few restaurants in Prosper. Now, it's not going to be restaurants like you would see in maybe Frisco or especially downtown Dallas, but there are some pretty good restaurants in Prosper as well. You've got restaurants like Gloria's Latin Cuisine, which is one of our absolute favorite restaurants to go to. They have some of the best margaritas. Not only do you get salsa with your chips, but you also get black bean dip. They have a lot of things like shrimp and skirt steak, plantains, yucca, tamales. It's absolutely delicious. One of our favorite places to go is Gloria's Latin Cuisine. So it's a little bit different than Prosper. Sorry, I couldn't think of it there for a second. That does have some great nightlife. And I want to show you that not too far from Prosper. You have this nice town over here that has a population of about 140,000. And I have a lot of videos on this one. And that's Denton, Texas. So that's a solid 30 minutes depending on what traffic is doing, because a little secret about 380, okay? It is about 50, 55 miles an hour. You know, it's definitely a main road. It's not a highway like I-35. A lot of stoplights from here to Denton and from Prosper to McKinney. So the infrastructure is, they did a good job widening it and expanding it. It is 3 lanes on each side, so it is a 6-lane road. But there's a lot of population out here. There's a lot of people here living in Prosper and in Little Elm, which is right here. And, these little towns, Crossroads and Oak Point, which are basically Little Elm. But you've got a lot of master plan communities along this corridor right here. So I will warn you about that driving this route is just not a lot of fun, and you really do need to be careful driving. They are finally putting a divider in the road, and it's extremely necessary because when I grew up, this road 380 was 1 lane each way. It was a 2-lane road, and we used to go from Denton to McKinney, and it took forever, in my opinion, and was the most boring drive. It is so built up, which is great. A lot of families are moving there, but just be forewarned about 380. So anyway, nightlife. So Denton has an amazing downtown square. Denton is a much older town. It's got a population of about 140,000, where Prosper is 40,000. But there's a lot of one-off brew pubs, a lot of one-off restaurants on the square, a lot of festivals that happen throughout the year. So that's a great place to consider. Or you can come to downtown McKinney. McKinney has another awesome downtown square, a little bit different from Denton because Denton has 2 major universities, whereas McKinney does not. But McKinney, I know they've got a lot of boutiques and wine tasting and things like that. So you have a lot of choices living in Prosper. You can also come to Frisco to wine and dine and go to shops. And then, of course, if you really want to go upscale and get really fancy, you can always head into Dallas to go on a big date night or just to hang out. It's a great place. Dallas really is fun. The traffic just sucks. I don't know how else to say it. It's not fun. So, especially on a weekend. So really consider where you're going to live. If you want to live anywhere from Dallas to Frisco, the traffic in these areas, it's pretty heavy. But once you get into the smaller town of Prosper and you're driving around town, much nicer. So you get all the amenities that a big metroplex has to offer, but you get more of the serenity of a small town like Prosper, which is really nice. Okay, one thing I also wanted to point out is that Texas actually does have, or Little Elm actually does have a beach, believe it or not. No, it's not an ocean, it's not saltwater, but there is a really nice lake, and I want to just show you that it's a half-hour drive right now to this Little Elm Beach. It's a great place to take your family. You can take your paddle boards, kayaks out there. They have volleyball court. Really, really great place in the summer to take your family. They do have the beach area. Very, very nice. So that's something else. If you live in Windsong Ranch and you don't want to go to the 5 Acre Lagoon, then you can go to Little Elm Beach. Or if you don't live in Windsong Ranch and you want to cool off somewhere other than maybe your pool or your community pool, then head to Little Elm Beach, because it's a great place to bring a picnic and take your kids, bring the floats, bring the kayaks and the paddle boards, and really you can just have a great time out there. Okay, let's take a look at the Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport, because if you are commuting constantly for work, then that's going to be a big deal for you, and you are going to want to know about that commute. So remember, Prosper is not very big, so probably pretty much anywhere you live in Prosper, it's going to take you a solid 35 to 40 minutes to get to the Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport, or DFW Airport as we call it. If you're going at 6 o'clock in the morning, you shouldn't run into traffic. Maybe on the way home is where you're going to run into more traffic, but not bad of a commute if you're only having to, fly out maybe every so often for work, maybe a couple times a month. Really not that bad. It surely beats living in Dallas in all this congested area. It surely beats that. I'd take a 35-minute drive any day over having to live in downtown Dallas and all that congestion. So not bad at all. If you are, traveling for vacation, easy Uber drive to the airport and then back home. So wanted you to see where the DFW International Airport was in relation to Prosper as well. And there's, 2 different routes you can take, but this one is the quickest one, at least right now. And one other thing I wanted to show you that I think is worth pointing out is, for those of you that have high schoolers, or you have students that are in college, or, getting ready to go to college, one thing that I wanted to show you is this, that Denton has UNT and TWU. They are both very great universities. Our daughter is currently at TW, which is Texas Women's University. They're both great schools, public schools. It's about a total of 60,000 students during, the 2 semesters. So it does add a lot to Denton, but, not in order for your student to commute from Prosper to UNT, but if you're considering moving to a place like Celina or Frisco or Prosper, just know that maybe your student doesn't want to go too far in order to go to college. Maybe they do. Either way, I think is great. There are options for them to live in a city that's really close by family still. We also have NCTC, North Central Texas Community College, which is a great, thriving community college in Denton and in Gainesville and in Corinth, which is just right here. So, a lot of options for students wanting to go to UNT or TW. So we also like to tell people, depending on where, if you're coming from California and, you're selling your house for $2 million, $1 million, you can buy a house in Prosper and then buy a rental here in Denton that you can rent out so that your college student can live in a rental. Although they do have to stay on campus, I believe, their freshman year. A lot of colleges have that rule, but just wanted to point that out, that that's something that I think is really wise to do if you have the budget to do it. Buy an investment home where your student is going to college. They have a lot of roommates, and who's paying your mortgage? The roommates. So just wanted to throw that out there, that UNT and TW are just right down the road from Frisco, Celina, and Prosper. I hope that gave you a good perspective on the map of where Prosper is located in Texas and in North Texas. And like I said, we do have a video on Windsong Ranch, which is a master plan community in Prosper, Texas. So make sure you go back and take a look at that. And just check out some of our other videos about living in the North Texas area, and we'll see you on the next one.